All right, guys, we're going to go over number 33. It says an exercise program began the first week within 30 minutes of daily exercise. Each week, the daily exercise is increased by 5 minutes. Which function, explicit formula or recursive formula, represent the number of minutes of daily exercise in the nth week? And this is one of those questions that's going to be on your test. That's like select all that applies, which is there's more than one correct answer. I mean, if you look at it, there's a lot. There's F, G, H, I, J, K, L. You're like, holy crap, what is happening? So let's go ahead and start highlighting a few things. So when you first start the first week, so this is week 1, you're going to exercise for 30 minutes every single day. Each week, the daily exercise is then increased by 5 minutes. So then week 2, it's going to be 30 minutes plus 5. So it's going to be 35 minutes. And then, in week 3, it's going to be 35 minutes plus 5, which is then 40 minutes. And it's going to get increased every single week by another 5 minutes, obviously. Okay, so which function here represents the number of minutes daily exercise in the nth week? So if you're not sure what the answer is, you can always go over here to the back of the answer sheets. And so if you take a look at the back of our answer sheets here, we're going to scroll down over here to the bottom. And if you look at this, let me make sure I switch this over. For number questions 33, your answer is going to be HJKL. So that's the answer for that. So H, J, K, and L. So now we need to figure out why is that the answer. All right, so let's take a look. So for H, do you see how you have plus 5? So that's plus 5 minutes. And then A1 equals 31. This is where you start off with. Does that make sense? You start off at 30 minutes every week, and then you add 5 minutes every single week after that. Yes, it does. So H is one of the answers, okay? J is going to be A to the N, 25 plus 5N, okay? So you're going to take 30 minus initial 5 minutes, which gives you that 25 right here. And then for N, which is the number of weeks, you multiply that by 5 because you're increasing by 5 every single week. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So J is part of your answer. And then K, if you take a look at K, F of N equals 5 times N. So 5 times N is plus 5 minutes each week plus 25. And you get that 25 because it's that 30 minutes minus the 5 minutes. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. So that's part of your answer. So then if you take a look at L, F of 1 means it is the first week. How many minutes are you working out that first week? 30 minutes. That looks good. And then if you take a look over here, it says F of N minus 1. N minus 1 is the first week minus the first week, which is technically at week 0, which means you're starting off at 25 minutes, plus 5 minutes for each week, and that makes sense as well. So then your answer is just H, J, K, and L. Okay, so make sure you have those written down in your notes because it's important that you understand this. You can study for that so you're ready to prepare to take the test next Tuesday. All right, number 34. The function f of x and g of x are graphed below. Approximate the x value when f of x equals g of x. Do you guys see how it's right here? It's equal. Do you see the equal sign? So when do these two numbers equal? So this is when they touch, okay? So looking at this with your highlighter, where do they touch right here? What is the x value when they touch? Do you see how it's in between like a -2 and a -4? So if this is -4 and this is -2, and they're touching like right there in between them, it looks like it's before 3, but it's past -2. So I would say a good guess on this is definitely not D, because that's positive. It's not C, because do you see how this part is past -2? It's not quite a 4. So the only other one that's really, possible is B as in boy. So this one really wasn't a difficult question, but you just have to make sure you look at the graph and understand the question. Okay, number 35. Go ahead and read the question and highlight the correct answers, you guys. All right, select two equations. So that means pick two answers, obviously. So if you pick one answer, your answer is incorrect. Okay, so which one gives you a system with no solution? This is the key word right here. No solution means that you will have x equals some number on top with a 0 on the bottom. So that's the one that you're looking for. And it's okay to kind of look at the answers, especially if you're not sure what it is. So let's look at the answers a little bit, you guys. So this is number, what number is it? Is it 35? What number is it? 35. Okay. So looking at number 35, what's your answer? It is G and I. So we're going to go back to this and go, okay, so it's G and I. So why is it G and why is it I? Well, let's figure it out. So with G, I want to go ahead and solve for Y first. So let's go ahead and move the X over to the right side. So we have -3Y equals -X plus 9. And then we're going to divide it by -3. So Y equals 1 over 3X minus 3. Now let's take a look at I. For I, it's already solved. So with this one, if you look at it, you don't have to do anything with it. Y equals 1 over 3X plus 2. So if you take a look at this one has to have no solution. And what do they have that's exactly the same, you guys? Yeah, isn't this one where the slope is the same? So same slope. If you have the same slope, remember I told you it's like railroad tracks. Are those two lines ever going to touch each other? No, they're never going to touch each other. So if there's no touch, there is no solution. Okay, and that's the reason why it's G and I. So you're looking for the same slope on this one. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is number 36, you guys. So take a look at number 36. Go ahead and highlight them. Okay, so number 36, it says the graph a table value. So you have a graph, this is line A, okay? And then you have line B, which is on a table. So the quick question here that the question is asking you is which of the following is the solution to the system? So is the solution to the system means that sorry, I'm just looking at it very quickly. I'm looking at this going. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is this is your first line, right here. Your second line is based on this table. Guess what? This table gives you a table value. Your first point is -1, 6. So let's plot that. So -1, go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's your first point to the second line. Okay. Second point is 0, 4. Go ahead and plot the 0, 4. Start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third line is 1, 2. So start at 1, 1, 2. Now you're gonna go ahead and draw and connect the dots as best as you can. And this right here is line B. Okay, so then where does these two lines hit? You see how that's where they touch that red dot? What's the location of that red dot? You go over to y is 0. So then your answer is A as an apple. That is what they're asking you. Okay, number 37. Go ahead and highlight the important information. Number 37, you guys, and read it. Which equation will make this equation have infinite many of solutions? Okay, so infinite many means they have the same line. Okay, same line. As in, if your first equation is y equals x plus 2, your second equation also has to be y equals x plus 2. And the reason for that is because if you graph your first line, and let's say this is my first line, okay, your second line is going to be exactly the same line lying on top of the second line. And I know you're like, well, why does that mean that has many solutions? It's because they're always touching. Do you see how the green line and the red line is just always touching? So how many points are they touching? All of them, right? So it's touching all points. So therefore, it means many solutions. Okay, so now we have to do the hard work, which is to figure out which one there has the same line as y equals x plus 2. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a try. Let's take a look at the answer first to see which one it's going to be. So if I take a look at the answer, this is number 37. For number 37, the answer is A as an apple. So let's see why is the answer A as an apple. First I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to divide it by 2 on both sides. If I do that, the 2 cancels, you guys, and then you're left with y is equal to 2 divided by 2 is 1x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Is that the same as that? Yep. It's the same. So your answer is A as an apple. Okay, because those 2 lines are literally touching each other and it's all the answers together. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 38. This one looks very similar to like number 36, but it's a little bit different. So go ahead and highlight the important parts of this. Okay, the equation in the table of values are given to you guys. It represents 2 equal lines. This is the first line, this is the second line. Which of the following is a solution to the system? Okay, so then looking at this right here. All right, so let's see, how do I want to approach this? Let's take a look what the answer is first. So if I look up number 38, the answer is D as in dog. D as in dog is no solution. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take every single one of these points, so -1 and 4, and I'm going to plug it into this equation. Because if it is a solution, it will definitely have that as an answer. Okay, so let's plug it in. So here's my x value, here's my y value, y, and this is my first one, first try. Y is 4, and then that equals -3 times -1 minus 4. Does it equal? Well, let's see. -3 times -4 is going to be, or -1 is a 3. Is 3 minus 4, 4? Nope, it's not. Let's try the second one. Second one is right here. +1, -2. So y is a -2 equal to -3 times 1 minus 4. Does -3 minus 4 equal -2? Nope, does not. Okay, let's try the third one. And this is my last one. Third one is a +2, -5. So y is a -5 equals -3. So -3 times 2 minus 4. Does -5 equals a -6 minus 4? And if you're not sure, you can definitely use your calculator, you guys, to do that. And guess what? Nope, it doesn't. So did any of these work? It did not. So what is your answer? No solution. If one of them did work, that will be your answer. But in this case, none of them worked. Number 39. Which x-coordinate is a solution to the system of equation? So the key word here is solution. So what they're looking for is the x value and the y value. Okay, so then let's take a look at this. Do you see how the x's and the y's are all lined up correctly? We're going to solve this. Solve by elimination. Okay. Remember, with elimination, you got to have to pick x or y first. Then you have to make sure they have the same number in opposite sign. So then let's take a look at this. All right. So which one do you want to cancel? X or do you want to cancel y? You just pick one. Well, since y already have a minus and a plus, let's just pick y for this one. You could pick x as well. It doesn't really matter. Next part is they have to have the same number. Do the y's have the same number? No, because that's a 2 and that's an 8. But can I make that 2 into an 8 by multiplying by 4? Yes, I can. But then you have to multiply 4 on everything just to balance it in the second equation. Okay, so then my new second equation is 4 times x is 4x, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8y, 4 times 5 is 20. So make sure you guys copy that part down. Okay, so then guess what? I can cancel that 8. 3x plus 4x is 7x. 1 plus 20 is 21. And then if I solve for this, what is x equals to? What is 21 divided by 7? X equals 3. Which one does it match, you guys? Ta-da! Right there. All right, you guys. So let's do one more to end up with 40, and then we will stop. And I have something else for you guys to work on. So let's take a look at number 40. And we're like over halfway done then. Okay, so this will be the last one. For number 40, which y coordinate is the solution to this inequality? So when it says y coordinate, what it's asking you is what is y equal to? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and solve for x, and we're going to plug it into x to find y. That's our plan. So make sure you guys write that down. So that's our plan. That's what we're going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this then. So let's solve for x. The easiest one to solve for x is this x right here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and move that 3 over this way. So I have negative y minus 3 equals negative x. But I don't wanna have a negative x when I have a positive x. If I change that x to a positive, that 3 becomes a positive and that y becomes a positive. So x equals y plus 3. So then now that I solve for this, I'm going to take this part right here and I'm going to plug it in right there for that x. So make sure you draw the little arrow so that way you're there. So then you have y is equal to 0.5 times y plus 3 plus 2. Okay, now you have to distribute this. So I'm going to take the 1/2, multiply inside the parenthesis. So y equals 0.5y. If you have $3 and you have to split it by half, how much money do you have? 150. Or if you don't know, take your calculator and just take 3 times 0.5. Okay, now let's combine the terms. Okay, if I combine the terms, I have y equals 0.5y. $1.50 plus $2 is $3.50. Now I'm getting closer to this. I have to subtract 0.5y on both sides. And I know you're thinking, well, what do I subtract 0.5y from? Well, what's $1 minus 0.5? So what's $1 minus 50 cents? It's 50 cents, right? So you still have 0.5y equals, that part cancels, $3.50. Now, grab your calculator. What is 3.5 divided by 0.5? Or in this case, 3.5 times 2, because the opposite of half is 2. So if you double $3.50, how much money do you have? 7. And that is your answer, you guys. And again, you can use a calculator on your test, okay? So even if you're like, I'm not sure how to divide, decimals, that's okay. You can use a calculator, that's totally fine. How are you guys feeling? Are we okay with us? All right, so I'm gonna just go over a few quick little rules on the day of the final for you guys. And so just keep in mind that when you guys come over here, what can you use on the common district final? So first things first, you can definitely use your formula sheet that will be in your test book, okay? You can also write in your test book. There's no notes. You can use a calculator, pencil, no scratch paper, okay? When you come to class that day, your backpack needs to be alongside this wall, the wall behind me, okay? You do not have any access to your backpack. Your cell phone must be turned into a bin and really collect your cell phone. And I'm not doing that, to take your cell phone, but everybody who's taking the common district final will have to do this. So it's a state test, it's a high secure test. And so everything has to be, in that order. All right. Another thing that you should know is that, and I should go ahead and just type this up, and I am. So what to expect on the day of the final. Okay, first thing you need to know that it is a timed test. So what that means is don't be late. Second is there's no extra time after class. It's a timed test. There's no extra time, okay? So your backpack along the side of the wall, I will collect your cell phone. Keep in mind that there's going to be no watches. So if you have your smart watches, you cannot have that. No headphones. So if you're like, maybe I can listen to music, I'm sorry. No, you can't. And I'm not trying to be mean. Okay. No notes or scratch paper. You just write on your test. And yeah, I think that is basically it. So those are the things that you need to expect on the day of the test, you guys.